Warning, the following podcast may contain adult language and explicit content. Parental discretion is advised. Also, if you get offended easily, do not listen to this, because it is going to be very offensive. That's the only type of stuff that I do. And also, if you can't take a joke and you don't like me, then guess what? I don't like you either. Now, someone play my intro music.
This job, we try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes that doesn't mean everybody. But you don't give up.
New York, Washington, D.C., Sokovia.
Okay, that's enough.
Captain, people are afraid.
That's why I'm here. We need to be put in check. Whatever form that takes, I'm game.
I'm sorry, Tony. If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
I know we're not perfect. But the safest hands are still our own.
I was wrong about you. The whole world was wrong about you. They're coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
You just started a war. Stay down. Final warning.
I could do this all day.
All right, I've run out of patience. On to roost!
Hey, everyone.
That's right. It's 12 hours and counting. T-minus 12 hours. Exactly 12 hours from right now. I will be going to see Captain America Civil War. I'm going at 7 o'clock tonight, and currently it is 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, May 5th, 2016. This is Johnny Knows Best, and I'm your host, Jonathan Mays. What's up? How you doing? And this is going to be episode 25 of Captain America Civil War, an early preview. That's the name of the episode. This basically is going to be me discussing the movie before I see it tonight. I want to do a podcast before I saw the movie, and I'm going to do another podcast after I see the movie, reviewing the movie, a spoiler podcast to let you know, and I'm going to discuss the movie in detail after I see it too. So, but this podcast is just going to be about my expectations, what I want out of this movie. Kind of like I did with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. I think I did like 3 podcasts on that. But I'm not going to do 3 on this. I'm just going to do the before and after. I don't know. It might be so good though. I might have to come back and do a 3rd podcast after I see it, because I've just heard amazing things about this movie. Several people have told me that this is the greatest Marvel movie ever made, and I've heard a few people, more than one person now, has told me that this is the greatest superhero movie ever made, period. Now, I think that's putting a whole lot on it. I'm thinking it's one thing to say it's the greatest Marvel movie ever made, but there are a lot of people that have seen this movie already, friends I have that are overseas and in other places that have said that this is the greatest superhero movie ever made. And when you say that, I think you're putting it over the Richard Donner's 1978 Superman. You're putting it over the Dark Knight that came out in 2008. You're putting it over the first Avengers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's been a whole lot of superhero movies that have came out in the past, I don't know, over 3 decades I've been alive. And so you're gonna put this movie, which it looks good, but people are saying it's that great. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch it tonight and judge for myself. And then you know I'll come on here and let you know what I think, because I've seen every every superhero movie that's came out in the last 33 years, and even a little before then, before I was even born. I've seen every superhero movie ever made, so I'm going to watch this, and I'll give you my honest opinion as to whether I think it's the greatest superhero movie ever made. Maybe it will be. Maybe I should do this. Maybe the third podcast that I do will be me ranking the greatest superhero movies ever made, and then, I'll let you know. That's actually a pretty good idea to do that. I don't know why I never thought about doing that. Doing a top 10 of the greatest superhero movies ever made and discussing each one. That's a great idea for a podcast. But now today's episode though is mainly going to be about Captain America: Civil War. This is basically the third movie in the Captain America series after Captain America: The First Avenger and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This will be Captain America 3, which a lot of people are speculating it could be Chris Evans' last Captain America movie, because this is the third one in his contract, and I think he might only have like 1 or 2 more Marvel movies left in his contract, and then, his time as Captain America, unless they re-sign him to more movies, will be pretty much over. They're probably going to want to get a younger person to do Captain America the next time they do him. Or they might have somebody else be Captain America besides Steve Rogers. There's rumors that the next Captain America could be either Bucky Barnes or Falcon. Falcon could be the next Captain America, like he is in the comics. That the movies could go that same route of making him Captain America. All that's possible, or it's possible they'll just come to some kind of agreement and sign Chris Evans to do more movies, and he'll be Captain America going. But for all intents and purposes, this is probably going to be his last Captain America solo movie. And this is going to set up, I think this is going to be a very, a game changer, in the phases of Marvel movies. This is going to be a major movie. The events, how this movie goes forth, setting up the Marvel universe for the next movies that we have to come: Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and then finally Avengers: Infinity War. I think Black Panther comes out before Avengers: Infinity War too. So I think this movie is going to affect all those movies, and more probably. It's kind of a big deal. This movie is basically going to have every major superhero in the Marvel universe, with the exception of Thor and the Hulk. They're not supposed to be in the movie. They're not supposed to be. I got a feeling that we might get some clues to their whereabouts. They're not going to appear in the movie, I don't think. At least, I don't think Hulk will. It's very possible Bruce Banner will pop up in this movie. And that's not a spoiler. I don't know. Nobody's told me that. That's just an educated guess. I think that Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo, I think he might make an appearance. But Thor and Hulk are not supposed to be in this movie. Also, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're not going to pop up in this movie. They might pop up pretty soon, though. You know, they're going to have their own sequel coming out. And they're rumored to be in Avengers Infinity War also. But, with the exception of Thor, Hulk, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Doctor Strange, who, you know, hasn't popped up yet, unless he pops up in the end credits scene, I think every other major Marvel superhero is going to be in this movie, in Captain America Civil War. Oh yeah, I shouldn't say every major hero, because the Netflix people, Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, they're probably not going to be in this either. I don't expect to see them. It would be cool if we get a reference to them, or we get a reference to Daredevil, or a Punisher reference. That would be awesome. But I don't expect to see that either, because I haven't heard people talking about that on the internet. So I don't know. It could be. That would be awesome if they snuck that in. They mentioned where there's this guy shooting up Hell's Kitchen. He's a real Punisher or something like that. Or, like, Daredevil's been around for a couple years now in the universe. So it would be nice if somebody mentioned him. But this movie should just include the major Avengers. Captain America, of course, is his movie, so he's got to be in it. Iron Man on the other side, you know, Robert Downey Jr. was at first was only casting this to make like a cameo appearance, and now he's in the majority of the fucking movie. So, he's Robert Downey Jr. though, of course, so he can do that. He can do anything he wants. Marvel loves Robert Downey Jr. His contract should be wrapping up too, where he should only have like 2 or 3 more appearances as Tony Stark. But I fully expect them to re-sign him for some more movies. The rumor came out early this week that he wants to make an Iron Man 4. So they got to do a new deal with him. He really wants to play Iron Man and Tony Stark until he is physically too old to play the part. He really wants to Wolverine this thing, where he wants to be Tony Stark for like 20 or 30 years. So you gotta respect that. And it's just a good business decision, you know, even money-wise, to want to be Tony Stark as long as possible. But, yeah, he's in the majority of this movie. Let's see, who else? Black Widow, Vision, Scarlet Witch, everybody that was in the Age of Ultron. This movie, for all intents and purposes, is picking up directly after the events of Age of Ultron, which chronologically took place last year. So it's picking up after all of the stuff that, and so you know, Age of Ultron, a lot of shit went down, with Ultron trying to destroy the world and making a city float and just doing all kinds of crazy damage. This movie is going to be the collateral damage, or the response to all the crazy stuff that Ultron was doing in Age of Ultron. A lot of people have said that this Captain America Civil War is the true sequel to Avengers, to the first Avengers. Even though there's already been a sequel to Avengers, I know I've heard a lot of people say on the internet that this movie is an apology for that Avengers sequel that came out last year. Not the Age of Ultron, before people get all bent out of shape. Not the Age of Ultron was a bad movie. I don't think it was bad. It was decent. I really enjoyed it, but it didn't reach what I thought it should be. I thought it should have been a whole lot better than what it ended up being. At times there was too much going on, and the plot kind of went all over the place a little bit. And I heard that Civil War is an apology for that. This movie is much more structured. The plot is pretty much, a whole lot better and more concise.